Hey, greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 284 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans podcast. My name is Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host. I've got a co host, best gosh darn one out there. His name is Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob, you run away. It's your heart that you betray. Feeding on your hungry eyes, I bet you're not so civilized. Well, isn't love primitive? A wild gift that you want to give. Break out of captivity and follow me, stereo jungle child. Love is the kill, your heart still wild. Shooting at the walls of heartache, bang,
Bang,
bang.
bang.
What is the rest? What's next?
Oh, I am the warrior.
That's right. There
Yeah.
you go.
Patty Smythe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1984.
Yeah.
Little Patty Smith. Yeah, the
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah. I never got my cassette back. And I'm
From
I'm still I'm still a little PO'd about that, Rick.
who'd
So
you lend it to?
1984, driver's ed training down in Lowell. I used to ride my bicycle down into the
Mm-hmm.
city, Lowell, to private, driver's ed company. And I met
Mm-hmm.
this girl and I lent her my cassette of that album
Mm-hmm.
and expecting to get it back the next week. And she never showed, never got my tape back. So still a little upset about that because
Oh,
yeah, I love that. I love that album. So I tell my
do you remember?
son,
Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name. No, not at all. I
Oh,
can't even picture her face. So, but
mm.
it must have been good if I lent out that tape. So
I would
yeah,
assume
that
so. So
cassette.
if,
Yeah,
but here's the thing: if you got the cassette tape back today, what would you
yeah.
do with it?
I'd look at it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I read something recently. Oh no, maybe it wasn't recently, but it was like, here's why Gen X is so angry, and it was like we had to change out our LPs
Yeah.
records for 8 tracks.
Yeah.
Then we traded those in for cassette tapes
Yeah.
and then traded those in for compact discs to
Right.
then trade in for MP3s.
Right.
And now we have to pay for a subscription.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
To buy the album, but it's still kind of locked up in there someplace,
Right.
So, yeah, I know it is
Hmm.
grounds to be irate, I think.
Hmm.
So, what was that streaming service that was so popular for a while before it got shut down, where you could basically rip
Oh, the
songs?
pirate one?
Yeah. What was it?
Um,
Oh man, it was super
I don't know.
popular. Remember?
I didn't do it because the Captain America in me was
Oh my
not
God, this was like the 90s. Nobody even thought of that at the time.
thought about pirating, to being bad.
No, I don't think, when
I
this,
always thought that.
no, I don't think people, this was even before the industry had like caught up that, like, hey, we're losing money here, sort of thing. It was kind of like equivalent to making a mixtape for a friend, and
Mm.
recording a song. I used to have one of those boom boxes
Oh
that
yeah,
had
yeah.
the
The
side
two.
by side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Me
right.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, so like,
yeah.
hey, let me copy the cassette for you, sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Man, what was that? Some of our listeners will remember what that was.
Yeah,
But then they got sued out of business, about 10 years later, and that was the end of that. So,
yeah. Bob, why am I greeting you with the Patty Smythe song?
oh, it's a good question. I have no idea.
Okay, it'll
Yeah.
come to you.
All right.
It'll
Good.
come
Good.
to you.
Good. All right. All right.
Could be something that we're covering today.
Could it be a woman?
Could be.
Could be. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today's gonna be kind of an interesting episode. We are covering. We live in a bizarro world, Bob, because I actually suggested to you
I
that
know.
we cover some World War
Yeah.
II stories.
Yeah. I can't tell you. I like Dear Diary. On today, Rick proposed.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So for any new listeners out there, Bob is the World War II fan. I am not. and Bob seems to at least a couple times a year trick me into doing a World War II story.
in there. Yeah.
And now I am doing it. Now, the reason I'm doing it is because I am so excited that next episode, sorry guys, you have to wait a week. Next episode, we have a special guest on the show
Yes.
because as we do typically the first Wednesday of every month, we have a creator on the show, and I'm very excited about this one. It is one Mr. Adam Hughes.
Nice. Huh? Yeah, I know. I think we talked about this, right? Some of your experiences recently at OAX and some of the folks
Yeah,
you met.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I did. I had an opportunity to meet Adam at the show again. I've met him several times before. I'm
Hmm.
sure he remembers
Yeah,
intently.
you're very
Um,
rememberable.
but yeah, Adam was there with his wife, Allison Sohn, who is a lovely lady, and had a chance to converse with her several times. Adam, well, a little under the weather. Yeah, his back had been bothering him, so yeah, he was back and forth at the show, plugging away as he would sit there and just draw away. But I got to say, Allison just a really really nice person, and had a nice conversation with her. And then when we got talking, and because they're doing he's doing a commission for me, and I will share it with the group in the Facebook group as soon as I get it. So can't wait to see that. I know that one Mister Tom Boyd is going to be very
Mm.
excited.
Oh my goodness.
But when I was talking with Allison, she was like, "Oh, he's Adam's favorite character is Captain America." I was like, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, if he could do any ongoing series, he would love to do a Captain America
Oh my
series."
goodness.
I was like, "Wow!" And because they had these four beautiful pages of art of and these are not the typical 11 by 17 pages Bristol board that you see. These are oversized pages. I mean, they're gigantic, and they have these four pages, which is one of the things we're going to cover tonight, which is from Captain America 701. And um, Adam was just so excited to do Captain America. But this is back in 2018, and in fact, when this issue came out, he posted it on Twitter, and he wrote, "My World War II Captain America pages for Cap 701, a lifelong dream to draw."
Mm.
So right there, you could see that Adam, very much is a big Cap America fan. So when I presented Allison some the what would do Cap do challenge coin, she said, "Do you have guests on your show?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, Adam would love to come on." I'm like, "I I would love to have him." And so here we are. Now, I also know that my wife volunteers me for things all the
Yeah,
time
they
too.
do that, don't they? Yeah.
So I was like, well, I didn't want to say anything until I actually talked to Adam, and then Adam did say, "Oh yeah, I totally want to come on the show." So excited to have Adam next week. So that brings us to today's episode,
Hmm.
which is Adam's Captain America work, and it's not a lot. He hasn't actually done a lot for Marvel in his career as far as published work,
Yeah.
but he
A lot of
does have.
covers, right? A lot of covers.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he made a living doing covers for DC for whether it was Wonder Woman or Catwoman.
Hmm.
He did those for
Classics. Yeah.
years. But for Marvel, he didn't do a lot, and he did a couple of Captain America stories. So we're going to cover two of those tonight. We're going to Captain America 701, which is the first four pages, a World War II interlude, and then a 9-page story that takes place from Marvel number 5, which I think came out in 2021,
Hmm.
and where it's a story starring one of your favorite characters, Nick Fury,
Yes, Nicholas.
and it's the end of World War II, where he is talking about Captain America, and that story was not only was the art by Adam Hughes, but he also wrote it as well.
Interesting. Interesting. I think he also did a page or two in that 80th anniversary tribute book
He
for
did.
Captain
He
America.
did one
Yeah.
page. Yep. And that was the one where he was woken in the sub by the Avengers.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, a quick 6 panels that Adam Hughes had done for that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, now he's also done his, commissions over the years. He's
Yeah.
done his share of Captain America, as he, loves drawing Captain America. And this commission that I am getting from Adam, hopefully soon, is my second recent commission from him. And as much as I love Captain America, I personally have the mentality of you don't waste Adam's talent on a male character. He
Yeah.
he he draws
Yeah.
beautiful women.
Right. Sure. Yeah. And especially if you've seen some of his cover work, right?
Yeah,
He does some amazing work.
yeah. And the one I got last year of Madam Hydra, Viper, is cover worthy. And if you're on YouTube right now or on Spotify video, I'll have that posted up so you can see it, as well as the comics that we're going to cover tonight, so you get to see the art from that.
Excellent. Well, that's good news all around, then, Rick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's going on with you, Rick?
It's funny. I'm on day 5 of this cold, and so you could probably tell because I have that deeper
Yeah.
voice,
Right.
and it was more of a head cold that turned into a chest cold, which is
Oh,
actually both,
yeah.
right? Fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm at work today, and we have this quarterly town hall. So it's like a 3.5 hour meeting,
Yeah.
and my boss and my boss's boss is there, and colleagues and you name it. And so there's like, I don't know, 50 of us in the room, and so I forgot to take my chest cough medicine this morning before I left the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn it. And so but what I did bring, I brought an Alka-Seltzer cold medicine,
Yeah.
and I brought a cold ease, which is a kind of
Yeah.
like a zinc tablet,
Zinc. Yeah.
and kind of like a Halls type of thing, right?
All
So
right.
I go to the work this morning. I get in the gym, I work out, and then I get a cup of water, and I carry that with me to my car because we had to go to a
Yeah.
different building. And as I'm driving, I plop in, plop plop fizz fizz, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then I get to where I'm gonna go. I chug that, and I'm like, great, that's good for 4 hours. And then I get in, and I have the Cody's, and then I have the Halls, and I feel like I'm okay. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm done.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear, and I told my wife this last night, was that I was going to get into a coughing fit in
Yeah.
the middle of this room. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And because that's
Yeah.
embarrassing,
Sure.
and
Yeah. Everybody's
I don't
looking
like
at
that.
you like you got Ebola.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm doing fine. I'm doing great until the last 4 minutes, which is my boss's boss getting up to give the closing remarks.
Ah,
And that's when I decide to get into a coughing fit. And by the way,
yeah.
I'm not in the back of the room, I'm in the
Yeah.
front of the room,
Oh, yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah.
I'm coughing so hard and I'm holding it in. I'm holding it
Yeah.
in,
Oh,
like
which
those,
makes it worse.
oh, I
Yeah.
know, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
tears are coming out of my eyes.
Yeah.
That's how much I'm coughing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but I don't want to get up and walk out because everybody will see me do that. So I'm
Yeah.
trying my best to stifle the cough. And so that was my
Yeah.
day today,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You got to be careful, but that Alka-Seltzer stuff, though, that's fizzy stuff, man.
man.
That
Yeah.
air's got to come out one way or the other. So, it's a dangerous game you played in a crowded room. So,
I I hear what you're saying. All right. What do you think, Bob? You think we should get to today's comics?
we probably
Plural?
should. Yeah. You got people all fired up for him now.
All right. So let's start with Captain America 701. And this is to kind of set the scene. This had a release date of May 2nd, 2018, cover date of July. And this was obviously right after the big anniversary 700th issue. And if you remember, they kind of went back to the legacy numbering. I think it was with 695. And that's when Mark Waid and Chris Samney came to the series.
Yeah.
So this was also after the whole um, Hydra Cap storyline, and so you know it, they brought Mark Waid back because who better than to you know
Yeah.
try to get a story where you could follow that Hydra Cap story and like where does Cap go from here, and it was a really good story that 695 to 700.
Hmm.
Now in 701 we jump to the future.
Yeah.
And but before they do that, they wanted to set the, I guess, an important part of the future that happens in the past. And so there's this little 4 pages that starts off the story, and that's when they brought Adam Hughes in. Um, I'm pretty sure Mark Wade wrote these 4 pages, and we'll clarify that with Adam next episode. But Adam penciled it, and he inked it, and he colored it, and so yeah, he put his heart into these 4 pages. Then the letterer is Joe Caramagna, who's been on the show, and the editor Alana Smith and Troy. I'm sorry, Tom Brevoort, who both have
Yeah.
also have been on the show.
Well, that's a good context setting, and I think this is what, a 4 issue arc, this out of time
Yeah,
story, right? And Adam
Promised
is,
Land. Yeah.
yeah, and Adam is the first of several artists that they kind of weave into the main artist assigned to this story, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
a neat way to do it. And there's some great art that's sprinkled in. Well, the Romero's work is great, but other great artists contributed as well.
Yep. So I have my copy right here. I'd say take us through the cover, but it really has nothing to do with what we're covering today.
Yeah.
So we open this up, and it is taking place in 1944 in France, and I believe it's pronounced Haute Vienne.
Yeah.
Uh,
The end.
Haute Vienne. Okay.
According to
And
my my elementary school French.
oh, wait till you hear my German in this. It's not going to be very good. Um, and it's taking place at night, and it is towards the end of the war, right? Because it's 1944, and it you see in this town of in France that it's demolished, right? Like buildings are crumbling, they're on fire, there is all kinds of debris on the ground, and at the top of one of these buildings is an old man, right? He's got white wavy hair and kind of like a white Hitler mustache, and he is wearing a green jumpsuit with a some sort of backpack that is on both the front and back of him with different containers. And he is in a spotlight, and there's a helicopter above him. And next to this building is a burning building. So it's kind of also not only lit by the spotlights, but lit by the glow of the fire and the embers. And I don't know about you, Bob, but I can, like, when I see this page, I can hear the fire burning. I can hear the helicopter chopper.
It does come to life, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam does just an amazing job of kind of building the scene here. And that's one of the things I want to talk to him about next week, and that is, he's known for these beautiful covers, again, Wonder Woman, Catwoman. He is known for these commissions that he does of beautiful women and other things too. Um, but they're all pieces of time. They're all still one type of image.
Sure, yeah,
And one of the things that I really want to show and demonstrate in these two stories we're covering today, he is a wonderful storyteller.
yeah, right. Yeah, his ability to use the sequential art form to, in depth, in emotion and feeling, to lay out a story is really exemplary.
Yeah. So we see here there's Captain America who is taking on German soldiers, and he's with his left arm with his shield knocking out a soldier, and so hard that you can see his helmet go flying.
Love it. That's why you buckle those helmets.
Yep. And by the way, uh, the Captain America uniform that he has on also has a chin strap,
Right. Yeah.
right? So Adam's version of the World War II uniform is one with a chin strap. And then you have Bucky, who is there as well, and he's got his binoculars, and he's looking up at the top of the building, and he sees the old man that was mentioned. Bucky, Dr. Straussen, I see him. He's still carrying the last of Erskine's formula. If he makes it out of here, the Nazis will be able to create an army of soldiers just like me. Good to hear. And we see the next page, Bob, and who is that?
It's none other than Julia Koenig, warrior woman. And she's looking nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Since when does a Nazi look nice, Bob?
Well, when they're wearing a patent leather single piece swimsuit with black leather boots that extend up to, mid thigh.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. You got a little fetish thing going here, huh?
yeah. And I like her little iron cross, choker necklace too. That's really just the pièce de résistance.
Yeah. So she's a large woman.
She's definitely WWF material.
Yeah, and the thing about her, she's when I say she's a large woman, she's 6'5", and that doesn't include those heels that she's wearing,
Yeah,
those
those
boots.
stiletto heels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's a tall woman, and she also, I think her weight is 205. And I know women don't want to discuss their weight,
Yeah.
but I think it's relevant because she's strong. I mean, she is super strong.
That's also my weight, Rick, if I lost 10 pounds.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Bob, because 6'5" would be my height if I gained a foot.
They put the two of us together. You got a warrior woman.
So she comes out of the door, and she actually has to duck because she's so tall. Um, and she is imposing. I am hungry for men I want to break in two. You're not leaving this town with that formula, Captain. You're not even leaving it alive. Bucky, catch Strawson before it's too late. Pappy, Warrior Woman ain't no pushover. It's my fight, Bucky. Go. Go. Where are your pals, you man and Baron Blood, Fraulein? They finally realize they're playing for a losing team, and Cap charges at her with his shield and hits her in the torso, knocking her back. And while Bucky goes running off, he sees one of the fallen German soldiers. You using that potato masher, Adolf? No? Then let old Bucky take care of it. And what's a potato masher, Bob?
It's a particular type of hand grenade that was commonly used in World War II, Rick. So it's a little bit like a baton with the explosive grenade on the top of the handle.
So this bottom panel, um, I really really like, and
Yeah.
there's two battle scenes going on between Cap and Warrior Woman, and then kind of sneaking in between is a little silhouette of Bucky Barnes climbing up the side of the building. But on the left, you see Warrior Woman kicking Cap down. And so it's almost like a downwards kick with the motion. And it hits Cap in the torso. And the sound effect, Bob, is,
Shwoop.
and it's done in a kind of like a old school German Nazi font,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
then she says, "The greater German Reich is mightier than ever, Captain. How long do you think a master race such as ours could be challenged by your country's mongrel breeds?" And then Cap isn't taking any of that, and he takes a little right uppercut into her torso, and you're seeing it from behind her, so you're really not seeing it connect, but you can see her motion being kind of knocked back. And that one says, "You don't talk that way about Americans, ever." And listen, I am not a fan of seeing a man striking a woman. So this is a always a challenge, and I think maybe that's why Adam uh, drew that panel that way, because you're not actually seeing it connect.
That could be one interpretation.
Yeah.
It could be also that when it knocks it back, she's bent over at the waist, which is very well rendered, I must say.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. I didn't notice, Bob.
No, I know you didn't. That's why I wanted to draw your attention to it.
Of course I noticed.
I know you noticed. Trying to provide you some grace here.
Ah. So on the next page, we turn, and there is at the top of a building. There is a German soldier who is firing a machine gun at Bucky Barnes as he's coming up, and uh, and that machine gun is going wild,
Yeah. Pow, 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 pow.
and Bucky takes the grenade and he tosses it up, and it's Chandler on the mound. He throws right for the strike zone, and it hits and lets off a big explosion.
Oh,
The Allies have your armies on the run, and you know it. The only race the Nazis care about now is how fast they can run crying back to their fatherland. And while she gets up waiting for a punch, Cap goes in with the shield and knocks her flying back. And then I love this font. It's a red, white, and blue flag font of the shield connecting with her. Now, once again, Bob, we are not seeing the connection, right? So we're not seeing that, which I don't know if that was an intention on Adam's part, because again, you know, you don't like to see a man hitting a woman. But in Warrior Woman's, I'll make an exception.
she can certainly take care of herself.
Yes. Now, did you want to make a comment about her flying back now, Bob?
No, but she looks like she is certainly doubled over and looks almost like doing almost a cannonball in reverse. So
So then at the top, we see Bucky had made it to Straussen, and he is holding him by his legs upside down over the edge of the building. And he's taunting him. "Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of hell yeah, America." And Cap makes it up there with a bound. "You recovered the formula? It's right over there. Our little pack rat was carrying one serum, four poisons, a pint of vodka, and I think the formula to Coca Cola. Finders keepers. Nice work. I'll radio Allied command. So as long as we're at war, the super soldier formula is one of our nation's most valuable assets. If it ever fell into the wrong hands, God help us all." And they stare at the serum. Quick 4 pages, but Fun
Just
nonetheless,
beautiful.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so well rendered. And again, I think the storytelling is so underrated.
It will be interesting to hear who wrote it. Because I think it does have some elements of Wade, but it also has some, as we get into the next story, some of the clippiness of the language and the humor sounds very much like Adam Hughes as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll be an interesting topic of conversation.
All right, so let's get to the next one, which is Marvel number 5. Now, Marvel was a series that was, um, I think, a kind of like a follow up to the Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross Marvels. They had a different kind of a way to look at each issue. Kind of like had different stories in it, right?
Yeah, anthology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so this was, you know, Alex Ross actually had done some interior art. He certainly did some beautiful covers, and he was also credited as co-writing as well. Um, and then so one of the stories in issue 5 is this 9-page story that is written, penciled, inked, and colored by Adam Hughes, and then lettered by Ariana Marr, and then editor Tom Brevoort and Alana Smith. And also, Adam Hughes did the variant cover for this issue. Do you want to take the listeners through that?
So as you know, Rick, I am a Nick Fury fan as well. So I jumped on this variant cover when it came out. So it is Nick Fury with his eye patch. So this is toward the end of the war, and he is standing front and center on the cover, which has a little bit of a very light tan background. So it is just Nick Fury, and you can see him from just about the knees up, and he's
Mm-hmm.
standing in his what are known as service alphas, which are the dress uniform for the military services. So he's Army, so he's got his service alphas on, which means he's got the brown jacket and the tan trousers, the tan shirt, tan tie, with all his medals and ribbons displayed, and he's saluting, and he's clean shaven, which is not something you see very often with Nick Fury. And he you can see from the hash stripes on his arms that he's a long timer in the service as well. So
Mm-hmm.
and he's got quite a rack of ribbons as well as a combat infantryman's badge. So I love this cover for its simplicity, but now we can quibble about the salute. I
Can
won't.
we? I was going to ask you about that. What on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is that salute?
It's a 6, maybe a
Okay.
7. It's a 7. I would not have extended the fingertips all the way to the middle of the what they call that as a piss cutter hat. I would have extended it. It should go right to the edge of the eyebrow.
Mm.
So that's where it goes, buddy. So,
All right.
but
All right. You would know.
the arm is in the correct position. It's not sloppy. So
Okay.
it's a great cover, and it says, obviously the title is Marvel, but the cover says Howl on it, which is it must have been I don't know, the story we're going to cover is The Best of Us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what the howl relates to.
Well, I guess it would be he's a howler.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Why they put it on the cover, I don't know. Maybe it's the Howl variant cover.
Mm, could be.
Yeah.
So we open it up, and this is 9 pages, and um, it, the storytelling again is just so well done, especially on this opening page, because we're looking from above down into a bar slash restaurant that has been destroyed, and so you actually can see into it because the roof has been you know knocked off, and this is the end of the war, or, at least with Germany, right? This is Berlin, May 1945, and we're looking in, and we see uh, Nick Fury sitting in the very same dress that Bob described on the cover. Um, but, not as neat, though, right? His tie is pulled
It's the bit,
down.
bit disheveled.
Yeah. And he's sitting at a two tabletop, round table. And we see a person sitting across from him, but it's in the shadows. So we really don't see who that person is. But we do see there's someone there that Nick Fury is talking to. And we also see that Nick Fury is drunk. So I apologize in ahead, but this is how it's written. War is over. Drink up, you lousy kraut. The god dang war is over. And he takes another swig from a very large bottle. Relax, Hinkle. Not gonna hurt you. War's over. We're all buddies again. My kraut fighting days is done. Guess I go fight the Japanese now. You ever fight any Japanese? Ick. Right, right. Me neither. Guess I'll find out what it's like soon enough. Unless something big happens. Am I right? Wow. I am drunk. And he kind of tilts his head back and looks up. And then he looks down at the bottle. Can't even remember the last time I was this drunk. Wait. Yes, I can. And then we see through the bottle half of Nick's face. Pam. It was right after Pam died. Pam. We was gonna get hitched, Pam and me. But she died. Killed, dead. Boom. She got bombed to hell by one of you. Lousy goose stepping. Nope. And he puts his hands up and tilts his head. What's done is done. Past isn't gonna past. War's over. Buddies. Never actually thought I'd make it through the whole show. None of us. Well, there was one guy. I thought I'd make it. One guy. He was the best of us. The best. Cat Pen Murka. Captain Murka. Cap 10 America. We all thought we was some kind of joke at first. Dressed up like that. Real oddball. But then one day, I saw him in action. And what do we see, Bob?
We see a hilltop ringed with fortifications and obstacles. We see machine gun pits, presumably manned by Germans. They look like German soldiers, and artillery at the crest of the hill. So the machine gun pits are defending these artillery guns that are firing away, and Nick and his men, the commandos, are down below at the foot of this hill, under cover, pinned down.
We was pinned down by Nazi machine gun fire. And brother, our ammo was out. We couldn't get to the summit to spike them 88s, which was pounding our boys straight to hell. Stay down, you foul ups. Nick, I'm out. We all are. Damn. Let me think a sec. We ain't got a sec, Sarge. Really thought our number was up. No ammo, radio dead, no reinforcements coming. Then, sliding into our crater out of nowhere. Who is it, Bob?
It's Bucky, and he's got ammo pouches strung around his neck and his arms full of them.
Who wants ammo? And they all look at him like, who the heck is that? and they got this surprised look on their face, and I love Dum Dum's face with his one eye a little bigger than the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gentle boys, I chafe easily. Heaven sent, kid, but we got to get up this hill pronto. You bring any heavy guns? You bet I did. And he looks and he smiles and he points. And you look up at the hill and you see Cap 10 feet in the air with his arms raised and his shield coming down. And I love these three panels. He comes, he lands, he takes one of those 88 millimeters, and he just rips it up and he starts beating the soldiers with it so hard that the wood stock just starts breaking and pieces start falling off as he just whipping it around, nailing everybody with it. And then he looks back at Nick Fury and his team and he says, "On your feet, fellas. Let's get those guns." What do you think of that image, Bob?
That's just that is classic stuff right there, Rick. It doesn't get any better.
I mean, with that look, I mean, just look at the stock on that gun. You know,
Yeah.
like the wood just broken off. I mean,
You
it's
see
just
the grain of the wood. It's so well rendered.
yeah, and all the bullets on the what do you call that?
On the bandolier. Yeah.
Yeah, the bandolier.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he's got, look at that chainmail. I mean, he's sporting chainmail too, down to that level of detail.
yep. Leastways, that's how I remember it. Never called him an oddball after that. No, we freaking love Captain America after that. And the two of them salute each other. How are those salutes, Bob?
From here they look pretty good.
All right. Nobody fought harder than Cap. And we see this really cool panel of Cap with his shield lunging forward with pushing back, looks like 10 Nazi soldiers off of the top of a castle. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Next one, we see an evil scientist with a robot and Cap uh, doing kind of like a somersault in the air upside down. Nobody won bigger than Cap. Nobody cared more than Cap. And then we see Cap taking two American soldiers, looks like pilots,
Yeah, airmen
who,
there for sure.
yeah, and over his shoulders and carrying them to safety. Nobody deserved to go home and be happy ever after more than that guy. Do you heinies ever have anybody you could look up to like that? No. No. All your oddballs were monsters. And who were these monsters, Bob?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a great half-page splash here, Rick, and we see the Red Skull and Warrior Woman and Master Man and Arnim Zola and Baron Zemo and Baron Blood and Baron von Strucker.
Did you mention Warrior Woman?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's she wearing?
She's wearing that same one-piece swimsuit in patent leather, black patent leather, Rick.
Uh-huh. Holding a bomb over her head.
So holding a bomb right over her head.
You had so many damn monsters. We needed some of our own. We had a guy on fire. On fire. Two guys, actually. And that King of Fazlanis. Your monsters couldn't beat that, could they? And who's he showing there in that?
Yeah, and again, we see another half-page splash, and we've got the Human Torch and Toro and Union Jack and Namor and Spitfire, and of course Captain America and Bucky.
Granted, he had freaking wings on his feet, which is about as oddball as it gets, but CS Le Guerre, am I right? Eek. Right, right. It don't matter no more, Fritz. War's over. Prost. And then he takes another swig from the bottle. Yeah. Cap had a gal, I heard. Had a real chance at a life after all this. I don't know what happened. Just rumors. And then we do a flashback to what, Bob?
We see that that experimental drone that Zemo launched, and we see Bucky on the drone and Cap in the distance in the background.
All I know is he's dead. He's dead, and I don't know what matters anymore. I just don't. The best damn man to ever walk the face of the earth. And he's gone. He was the best of us, Fritz. We ever see his like again? And then we finally see who he's been talking to this whole time. And it is a German, but it's a little boy, maybe 7, 8, 9 years old.
Mhm.
And he's sitting there and he's just eating a chocolate bar, probably given to him by Nick Fury. And he kind of looks away and then he looks at him and he says in German, I speak no English. Right, right. You know speak a de English. I keep forgetting. Krauts. And then he goes to take another swig from the bottle, but it's empty. Am's great, kid. And then he says in German to him, your mother's probably worried about you. And the kid runs off. But then he stops at the door and he turns and he gives a salute. And Nick says, you know what? And he salutes him back. But he's still leaning back in his chair, and when he lifts his hand, he actually has the tie kind of hanging off of his hand. And then the kid runs off. And Nick just sits there. And then he decides it's time to get up. Well, back to the salt mines, I guess. And he walks outside. Whoa. Not gonna puke. Yeah, I am. And then he pukes, Bob.
Oh!
And then it and then he looks down and he starts kind of smiling and chuckling to himself. And then he sees what he puked on. And what was it, Bob?
It was a nice gilded framed photo of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, he puked right on him. And then he sits down in the little cobblestone and again all the debris there and he just leans back against the brick wall. Ah, you got off easy, you lousy paper hanging son of a bitch. I gotta tell you though, Adolf, after all this, I only got one wish, one dream I keep having. I don't know exactly how you bought it. I just hope you missed the news. Missed it by seconds. And during this time, we see a German soldier who's listening in on the communications and gets news and then starts running to tell the Fuhrer that Captain America is dead. But when he gets there, he sees Adolf Hitler on the ground who had just committed suicide. So here's to you, Captain America, the best of us. The end. Bob, what'd you think of that story?
What a great story, right, Rick? Uh, Man, Adam has nailed the characters. Number one, the personalities, and just rendered this story so beautifully on top of that. So it really is the whole package.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I can see why, these types of stories are kind of like dreams come true for him. He really did put his heart into these stories. So glad that we finally got a chance to cover them on this show. And so, Bob, you get to go first. Which, and you can pick from either one. Which was your favorite panel?
Uh, I'm going to have to, I'm going to change my mind here, Rick, on the fly.
All right.
Yeah, which I hate to do because I like to plan in advance. But I'm going to go with this story, and I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to go with the third page of this story to that panel on the middle right side of the page where we see Bucky pop up in the fighting hole
Nice.
with all the ammo pouches, right? It's just such a great it's just such a great rendering of Bucky, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
humor on top of that. He seems to really get the character. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. So I got to go with that.
I like it. All
Yeah.
right, good choice.
And what about yourself? What's your favorite panel?
I'm gonna also go with Best of Us, and I'm gonna go with um the very next page, and I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna say the top three panels because they all kind of
Ooh,
go together. Where
yeah,
Cap
yeah,
goes on top of there, and he grabs
yeah,
the machine gun, and he starts beating people with the machine gun. Those three panels,
yeah,
that's just so cool, and
yeah,
that's just also really good storytelling too. I love the art, and I love the motion of the whole thing. So those are my favorite.
yeah, yeah. Good choice. Good choice. And how about your T-shirt worthy?
I'm gonna go back to 701, and in that one, I'm gonna go with third page. So I'm gonna go with the bottom, which is Cap with the Krang, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but no, believe me. Okay, hold on.
All
I
right.
just want Cap, the Shield, and the Krang.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
don't I don't need Warrior Woman in that because we're talking. This is my T-shirt here, right?
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
But that's
Yeah.
such a cool image of Cap with the shield, and I love that lettering underneath.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I think that would be a cool image on a T-shirt.
All right. All right.
Yeah. How about you?
Nice. Well, believe it or not, that was going to be my first choice, Rick.
No, it's not.
It was. It
Really?
was.
For your
Yeah.
T-shirt? All
Yeah.
right. Well,
But I'm.
but you were gonna have the Warrior
Oh,
Woman
I
on,
most
weren't you?
certainly was.
Yeah.
Yes. But so I'm going to go back to Marvel number 5, and I'm going to go with that top half splash on I think with page 6, which is the good guys, the good monsters, where we see the
Mm.
invaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I love. I don't need any of the text boxes, but I just love having the Adam Hughes rendered invaders. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put that on a nice T-shirt.
Yeah, I like that. And what's going in your time capsule?
Well, that's a tough one, Rick. I mean, I think I'm going to go with the first page of the story in Captain America 701. I'm going to go with that experimental helicopter on the top. I'm
Hmm.
not sure we had those in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if we did, it certainly was one of the first operational helicopters. So I'm going with that.
I like it.
And yourself?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the first page in Best of Us versus Berlin, May 1945. I think just with the you know it really sets a time of period where you're in Berlin and it's the buildings are disheveled. So that's a certain time during the war.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And man, I can't imagine how much time Adam put into the detail on this particular page. I mean, I'm looking at just all the debris everywhere, and the interiors of the buildings, the walls, the doors. It's just um, it's so cool. But that's going in my time capsule.
Yeah, I mean, he is a master of detail here.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
crazy amount of detail.
Yep. All right. Well, I am looking forward to having Adam on the show next week. So We will make sure you come back for that. And then, Bob, any final words?
No, I'm looking forward to this. It's not often you get to talk to a guy who's done so many of the variant. And I know everybody's a variant cover guy, but I certainly have a lot of Adam Hughes variant covers, and particularly his Captain America ones. So I'm interested to talk to him about his inspiration for those covers and which one's his favorite.
Yep, that sounds good. And for our listeners out there, if you don't mind, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're on YouTube right now, you know what to do. You need to just hit that thumbs up button. And if you also want to give us a comment on YouTube or Spotify or our Facebook group, that is always appreciated. All right, so for Bob Lucius, I'm Rick Verbanis, and you have been listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.